Hi, I'm Agam.
I'm Keegan Bagasos.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Grace.
And we're from Generation Connection. So what Generation Connection does is to help empower older people using technology. And so the way that we do that is by teaching them technology. And that's kind of similar to what you guys will be doing. And if you look at the statistics right now, this is kind of the perfect opportunity to make a difference. So, older people are increasingly connected to the internet and through smartphones, but at the same time, that technology is really not being taught to them and is really not, easy to learn for them, especially at this stage. So our goal is to make that easier to do. And there's kind of three major ways that we do that. So first, we have seminars. And so those are like large group meetings. Obviously, that's a little bit more difficult to do now, or even like Zoom meetings like this. You could do a seminar through, and those are kind of more of us kind of talking over slides to a group. And so a group can learn at the same time, which is the great part about it. And then we also do one-on-ones, which is where we work with older people individually and help them with whatever problems they're dealing with. And so that's also really effective, and that's a little bit more intensive in terms of people, but it's definitely, I think, a little bit more effective just because you can kind of reach older people where their skill level lies, because there's really a big range of skill levels within older people. They're not all, completely tech literate, or they might be, super advanced. You don't really know. And so that one-on-one session allows you to kind of gauge their comfort level with technology. And then finally, we have online videos, which is something that we started doing during the coronavirus pandemic. And so we post those on our website, which we've tried to make very easy to use for older people. And so those videos are kind of designed to be easy to follow, easy to learn. They're in a standardized format. And so with those three major ways, that's how we've been able to reach out to older people. And so as we have reached out to older people, we've kind of figured out ways to do it. And so Kean will talk a little bit more about that.
But basically the keys to success for talking to seniors. Now, talking to senior citizens and teaching them technology, it can be a little challenging sometimes, but we have 5 keys that can help you guys succeed and make sure that you guys have great seminars and that the seniors get as much out of it as you get out of it. So key number 1, speak clearly, slow, correct volume. Make sure you're not too loud or too quiet. Make sure you are fluent in your speaking. You don't talk too fast. You don't go like blah, 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 but you don't talk too slow. You talk at a nice medium. A normal talking pace might be a little louder, but yeah, just make sure you're fluent in your speaking, and you can be coherent and understandable, and talk a little louder than a normal talking voice, because seniors, they're a little older. But and also make sure they talk a little bit slower, but not too slow, so not like it's noticeable, so you're not being condescending. Just make sure you talk a little different than your normal talking pace. So, and then make sure you might have to repeat make sure you guys rehearse your slides for your seminars, because in order to appeal to an audience in terms of rhetoric, like ethos, logos, and pathos, you want to make sure that you prove to seniors that you're well informed, you're credible, you're reliable, you're trustworthy, you're well prepared, and make sure you are going to have to repeat some things a little bit. In our seminar that we did in November, we did have to repeat some things because there are some seniors who are not going to understand technology, because that's why they're there, to learn more about technology, and you're going to have to repeat some things. So don't expect it to just be a big roller coaster where it's fluent, you get through everything. There's going to be some bumps along the way, because you're going to have to go back and then to go forward, because you got to make sure everyone's on the same page, so everyone gets out, as everyone optimizes the amount of technological learning and education that they will get out of the seminar. Then make sure to be proactive. Like, so in our experience with senior citizens, they feel a little nervous and a little like scared, or maybe a little embarrassed to ask you for help, since you're a lot younger than them. So you have to take the initiative to ask them, hey, are you doing okay? Is there anything we can help you on? And for those people who do ask you for help, who do raise their hand, you have to take the initiative. You have to go to them in order to get them their support. And make sure you write stuff down. Write down what the seniors are not understanding, so that you can address that in your seminar, and you can make adjustments to your slides. And make sure you write. Make sure like what we did our first seminars, we had a seminar review Google form where the seniors critiqued us. They said what we did great and what we need to work on, and make sure you write those improvements, what you need to improve down, so that you will be better for next seminar, because you're never going to be perfect, but you can try and you can always try and reach for the sky, reach for that Vitruvian man, reach that finger of perfection. You're always chasing perfection, because you can always be better in terms of optimizing and maximizing the amount of technological education that you can give to seniors. You can always be better in terms of your delivery of seminars, your content, your pace, your volume, and your information. And always make sure to understand their goals, because seniors are not trying to be Jeff Bezos. They're not trying to start a company that rivals Microsoft. They're just trying to learn the basic concepts about technology. So in your seminars, make sure you keep technological teachings, you keep your slides basic to the point. Make sure they understand the basic foundations of technology. Like, make sure they know how to search for websites on Google. You don't have to teach them how to make their own website. Just make sure they know how to find websites. Make sure they know how to download apps and get the general basis of important social media apps. You don't teach them every app. So yeah, those are the 5 keys for success in your seminars, and in order to reach senior adults so effectively and accurately teach them about technology.
So exactly like Kian said, there are many things that we and you all can do to make your seminars run the most effectively and smoothly, and the seniors are able to get the best experience out of it. But then also, there are some things that you definitely want to avoid, and like you said, be proactive to make sure that you recognize the challenges that you may face. So then when the time comes, you're able to switch up what you're doing, or just recognize that you may not be doing everything right, so that you can in the future better your seminar. So first off, like Kian said, you want to make sure that they're comfortable with the content and the information that you're providing them. So when you first get there and it's a one-on-one, you really want to establish a quick connection with them, so that one, they trust you, and that they try their best to pay attention and get the most out of it. So by doing that and understanding that they may not be the most experienced, and then they may be really experienced, that way you can give them the best experience. And then in individual steps, you can gauge how much of something in detail you can explain, because all of you are probably very tech savvy, so you can give them very in-depth, more basic information. And then also you want to be descriptive when the time comes, and if they have any questions, and it may sound like an insult, like you're not teaching this very well, or I don't understand anything you're saying, take that with a grain of salt and recognize that this is all very new to them. And if you are vague, you're not trying to be direct. Essentially, you're not trying to be vague, but it may just come off as that. So you want to think about what you're going to say and make sure it's not overly complicated, and that it's perfect for them to understand. And then the next thing is, especially now, I think you all will during like the COVID pandemic time, you'll be able to recognize and like make sure that you're not doing this as much, but you don't want to take their phone, get in their space. You want to remain calm and controlled throughout the entire experience for them. Because if you start to get a little rowdy, or you're explaining too much, or you're going really fast, then they will lose interest very quickly. So by following their speed and not running off with whatever you're trying to teach them, you will do the best that you can and give them the best experience. And then lastly, you don't want to give them too much information. So by giving them too much information, you seem like you're teaching them, you feel like you're teaching them a lot, but in the end, they get mostly nothing out of it because they get too much and then they can't remember it all, or they're not able to practice all of it, and it won't be effective at all. So make sure that you're only providing the necessary information that helps them achieve the goals that they've laid out for you.
Yeah, and I think that ties in really well also with like making sure that you are giving them something that they can take back, like whether it's written down or whether they take notes or something. But that also can help to make sure that you're not overloading them with too much information that they just won't remember. That maybe if they write it down, they can kind of remember some of that stuff. So yeah, thanks, Jack. Okay, so next we'll talk a little bit about kind of the challenges that we've faced.
So I'll be talking about the challenges. One challenge is with COVID, you really need to maintain safety. You really need to be cautious and explicitly ask your older people before coming into their space of how comfortable they are. And then you really need to make sure to stay a safe distance and whenever possible. And you need to make sure to wear your mask properly, keep it above your nose. Like, don't really get handsy with things. Don't try to touch their stuff. And then another challenge you encounter is when you're directing the people to click on things, you can't really touch their stuff or touch their phones, and it's not really easy to point because you can't get close with COVID. So a solution for this would be to come prepared with the slides or instructions. And then your slides could include arrows or boxes to explicitly show where to click, so it's really easy for them to know. Another challenge we face is handling things like passwords that are sensitive and hard to remember. You should make sure your people know that they will need their passwords and then give them time to learn. During your seminar, you really need to make sure that they do not have to share their passwords with you, that they will stay private and they will be the only ones seeing it, so they won't be worried about that. And then make sure that they know before the seminar, like beforehand, that they could possibly need their passwords. For example, if you're sending out a flyer or an email before the seminar, to include that they will need their passwords and to come prepared. Another challenge you really face is if you are doing a large group seminar, it is really important and challenging to keep everybody on the same pace. So it's really important that everyone stays together so no one's completely lost or so far ahead that they're sitting there doing nothing while everybody else is still working. A really easy way to fix this is slides, because everyone stays together and they give specific instructions and it's easier for everyone to follow to stay together. Another solution is do some one-on-one. The one-on-one is self-paced and does not matter how fast or slow you go, really. So those are easy ways to fix the challenges that we face during the seminar.
Great, thank you, Grace. So yeah, definitely COVID has been kind of one of the biggest challenges. And really, I think what we found is that giving people kind of their space, letting them be comfortable is really like a key to success. Okay.
So through our first seminar, we learned a lot of lessons. Through your first seminar and through your like opening months and part of your seniors and seniors program and the grandparents program, you're going to learn a lot of lessons. Some of the lessons you're going to learn from the seminars and your first experiences with teaching seniors about technology are that you need to set good guidelines for consistency. So you need to be basically, you need to be consistent in your content. You need to be consistent in your goals. You need to be consistent in your agenda and consistent in your intention. So basically, don't try and teach too much, because remember, they're only seniors that struggle with technology, that they want to learn the basics of technology, but also don't set the bar too low. Like, don't teach them nothing about technology or too little about technology to where they'll still be confused. You want to find a good medium, that good consistent medium that your agenda, content, intentions revolves around is giving seniors a general basis of technology so that they can perform the basic foundations and basic conceptual functions so that they will not be confused with technology anymore, and they'll be able to have that foundation to learn more and get deeper and deeper and deeper into their technological education. It become more and more and more sophisticated technology as they go, as future seminars go. And then you're gonna want to be patient, because remember, number one, they're senior citizens, so they can't hear or conceptualize as well as they used to. So you might have to repeat things sometimes. You might have to repeat what you say a couple times. You may have to speak in a little bit louder voice. You might have to repeat content because they're seniors. The seniors, they're learning. I mean, and learning takes time. There's the learning curve where it's like you teach someone something and then they don't really understand it, so you teach it again. You got to make sure you can get them through a learning curve so that they can thrive in technology. Make sure to stay organized. Like, now, I said you're not going to get through everything, but at the same time, you still want to have an agenda. You still want to prioritize the most important aspects of what the seniors need to take away from the seminar first. You need to stay organized. Dedicate times for group seminars. We're going to be in all one big group, and then dedicate time to one-on-ones where you're going to get a base of what the seniors are struggling with and what they still don't understand from the group seminar time. And then you will obviously teach them the struggles and relieve the struggles. So make sure you stay organized. I mean, you don't want to be there all day, so just prepare before. Make a schedule for when you're going to do group seminars, when you're going to do one-on-ones, when you're going to do introductions. So just make sure you stay organized and make sure you dedicate time for group seminars, Q&A, one-on-ones, Q&A, and then you need to allow room for innovation and improvement, because your first seminars are not going to be perfect. Actually, none of your seminars are going to be perfect. There's always room for improvement. There is always room for improvement on the road to success. So what that means is basically there's at least going to be 2 or 3 things that you can do better from one seminar to the other. And if you want to keep advancing these seniors' technological knowledge, and if you want to maximize how well seniors know technology and how technology proficient they are, you're going to have to make some improvements, I guarantee, in order to get deeper to seniors in terms of technology and go into deeper concepts of technology. For example, one seminar you go on how to download apps, and then the second seminar you make some improvements and you decide, okay, let's go deeper. Let's talk about more specific apps. Let's talk about how to work specific apps like Instagram or Zoom or Facebook, or even how to make an app eventually will be the deepest point. And then make sure you record your interactions and see what worked or not. Because like I said about the room for improvement, seniors need to assess you, but also you need to assess yourselves. You guys need to assess yourselves as a team and determine what worked and what didn't work so that you can improve. And as you go through time through the seminars, you'll have more things that worked, the more things that were not successful. So you'll have more success, because more success in seminars, improved ratio of success to failure ratios over seminars will allow seniors to take more and more and more in from your seminars, and allow seniors to get more and more and more proficient through seminars. And then you will have your club or your team will begin to develop a much, much, much more proficient, sophisticated, dominant, triumphant, famous, and credible, ethos heavy and logic heavy and very reasoned reputation. And then you'll be able to start to expand to other senior centers. You'll be recommended. You'll start getting more phone calls from other senior centers who want you to help them. So you'll be able to have more products. You'll be able to have more opportunities as long as you get better each seminar by seeing what went wrong and what went right.
All right. So yeah, thanks, Kian. So a couple other things that I thought of. So other lessons kind of learned. So as far as getting organized, that doesn't only apply to whatever seminars you have. Make sure that when you're creating the content for that seminar, you know who's going to do what. I think you guys probably already understand that, but just make sure you have some sort of tracking system, whether it's a spreadsheet or you talk about it at every meeting and you have like a to-do list or whatever it is. Just make sure you have that. And then also, I think another thing that we've learned is kind of the way that technology works, and the reason why I think younger people are able to work with technology a little bit easier is because we kind of understand where to look, right? Like, so even if we haven't used an app before, we know that 3 dots means menu or 3 bars means menu. We know that the back button is usually in the top left-hand corner. So those are the types of cues that you want to also be teaching to older people, because then that'll allow them to interact with apps or interact with things that they've never seen before, right? So you obviously can't teach them every single thing, every single step that they'll need in every single app that they'll use. So make sure that you're kind of teaching them things that can be used across different apps. So just kind of like teaching them, like, again, like those kinds of usual kind of heuristics that they can take. So yeah, and then also make sure that you're recording your interaction. So part of improvement is also making sure that like, okay, so this is what they kind of talked about. This seems to be like a common topic that a lot of older people that we work with want to talk about. So maybe we'll make a video on this, or we'll make a seminar on this. Or my teaching style in this seminar wasn't as good. This is what I changed, and now let me record it. So then maybe we can use it as an entire group, right? So make sure that you're recording things so you have them for the entire group, and also so you can kind of tailor what you do next based around the data that you've already collected. So before we kind of conclude, do any of the other Generation Connection members have any other things to add that they thought of during the seminar?
I would just say one thing, that I think the passion that you guys put into this and everything that you do, your scheduling, your agenda, your seminars, your videos, whatever, however much effort you put into that will reflect with how much these seniors get out of it. So just take that into consideration. If you think to yourself, am I trying my best? Will this produce the best result for the seniors? And it's not, then think that in the future or next time, just do whatever you can to make it the best experience for them.
All right, absolutely. That's a great note to end on. And so this has kind of been our seminar. Please let us know if you guys have any questions. You can contact us through our website, genconnection.org, or I'm sure Ms. Ware will also provide some contact information for us. And then, of course, follow us on Instagram as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this. And we hope that it's been helpful.
Thank you.